All right, let's talk about something I know is a huge deal for so many parents out there: how to build a healthy relationship with technology for our kids with ADHD. We're going to dive into the science behind those screen time battles and figure out how to turn those struggles into some real strengths. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You say, all right, time's up, and what happens next is, well, a full-blown meltdown. If you are nodding along right now, I promise you, you are not alone. This is an incredibly common and, let's be honest, incredibly frustrating experience. And that's because for a child with ADHD, technology is a real double-edged sword. I mean, on one hand, it's this amazing tool for entertainment, connection, and learning. But on the other hand, it can so easily become ground zero for constant power struggles, arguments, and meltdowns. So, what is going on here? Why is this one transition so incredibly hard? It's really easy to see it as your kid just being defiant, but the real answer is way more interesting. It's not about behavior, it's about neuroscience. Think about it like this. For a neurotypical brain, being asked to stop playing a game is, an interruption. It's annoying, for sure, but it's manageable. For a child with ADHD, it is something so much bigger. It feels like a dramatic, almost painful jolt to their entire system. And the reason for that jolt really comes down to one key brain chemical: dopamine. You can think of it as the brain's little messenger for motivation and reward. Now, the ADHD brain often has a different kind of dopamine system, which makes it especially drawn to that steady, powerful stream of dopamine hits that digital media just serves up on a platter. And this creates this really powerful, self-reinforcing loop. The ADHD brain is naturally wired to seek out new and stimulating things. Digital media delivers that stimulation instantly, which triggers a satisfying dopamine hit, which then makes the brain want to repeat the experience. It's a cycle that is seriously tough to break. This quote just nails the child's perspective. When we ask them to log off, we think we're just asking them to stop a game. But what they hear, what they feel, is that we're asking them to disconnect from a potent source of reward and this is a big one, a rare source of intense focus. That's a huge thing to ask. So, if we want to change the outcome, we have to start by changing how we see the problem. It means we have to shift our focus away from the behavior we see on the surface and look at the brain science that's driving everything from behind the scenes. In this insight from Chad, that's the nonprofit for children and adults with ADHD, is a total game changer. It reminds us that for kids with ADHD, so many of their reactions are basically instinct. They aren't choosing to be difficult. Their brain's biology is driving the response. And this brings us to the core idea here. There are two ways to see this behavior. The old behavior-based lens just sees the meltdown. It focuses on the surface-level action. But when you switch to a brain-based lens, you start asking why. You start looking for the root cause, the dopamine withdrawal, the sensory overwhelm, whatever it might be. Okay, so now that we get the why, let's move on to the how. What can we actually do? Here are some really practical strategies, and they're all built on this new brain-based approach. First up, structure is your absolute best friend. The ADHD brain thrives on consistency. So creating predictable screen time routines, using timers and giving clear warnings, and breaking long sessions into smaller chunks, all of this helps your child's brain prepare for the transition. It really reduces that dramatic jolt we talked about. Next, we want to move from a mindset of control to one of collaboration. This means choosing media that's more creative or educational, not just passive. It means working with your child to set the rules. And so important, it means having a plan for what to do after the screen goes off to help them manage those big emotions. And here is a fantastic, concrete takeaway. Don't just dictate the rules. Try creating a family tech contract together. When kids feel included, when they have a say in setting the boundaries, they are so much more likely to respect them. It really builds ownership and cooperation. So let's pull all this together. The ultimate goal here isn't about winning a battle over a device. It's about a collaborative effort to build skills that are going to last a lifetime. So remember this. Every single time you navigate a screen time transition using these kinds of strategies, you're doing so much more than just avoiding a meltdown. You're actually giving your child a chance to practice the vital life skill of self-regulation. And that really leaves us with this final thought. What if we reframed this entire challenge?
What if, by understanding the brain and by working together, today's frustrating tech struggles could actually become tomorrow's opportunities for a deeper understanding and connection with your child?